What's up, family? If you enjoyed the videos that we post on our YouTube channel and you know you're getting value from them, be sure to subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, thank you so very much. Make sure that your notifications are on so that when we drop new content like this, you'll be the first notified. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about the most important people you really need on your team if you plan on investing in distressed properties and you want to use creative strategies like subject to or owner finance for these distressed properties. There are certain people you just need to have on your team. Of course, you don't want to do this stuff alone. You want to have the most important people on your team, and I'm going to share with you 8 people that you should have on your team working with you closely so that as you generate leads and make offers, get contracts, and work on putting deals together, you're able to have these people to help you to make sure that you go from entry to exit successfully and that you don't fail and flop in the process. So who are these 8 people? Again, we're talking about you buying distressed properties. This could be pre-foreclosures. This could be properties from tired landlords, expired listings. It could be some probate issues. It could be properties that are physically distressed. I'm using the word distress to generalize any financial, physical, or legal distress that the owner or that the property and the owner both have. But when you're buying distressed properties, a lot of times you're using strategies like subject to and or seller finance. And those types of transactions require specialists, people who specialize in putting the pieces of the puzzle together, because these can be complex and complicated deals that you put together. So who are the 8 people? Number 1, you want to have a seasoned investor. Now, some people don't like getting coached, having mentors. I believe in coaching and mentorship. I am a coach and a mentor. I have coaches and mentors, and I have other people who don't necessarily play the role of a coach or mentor, but they are advisors. They play a very important role in certain nuanced things that I do, okay? So that when certain opportunities in business or even for me in ministry show up, I can call on certain people and get them to help me with whatever it is that I'm dealing with. So you want to have a seasoned investor, especially somebody who's already done deals like you're doing. So if it's creative finance of subject to, owner finance, if it's a distressed property, a pre-foreclosure, a probate, you're going to need these people to help work you through the challenges of that type of deal. Number 2, you want a closing attorney, a title, or a title company, depending on what state you're in. I honestly said closing attorney, but I should have just said attorneys in general, because you're probably going to need, depending on what type of distressed properties you use. I have closing attorneys that I work with. I have probate attorneys. I have bankruptcy attorneys. I have business attorneys. So you might need a couple different types of attorneys. So I'm generalizing it by saying closing attorney or title company, but that's just regarding the paperwork, making sure that you can get to closing. But you're probably going to need, depending on what level of distress you're dealing with, you're going to probably need a probate attorney, a bankruptcy attorney, and maybe a general counsel, like a business attorney, okay? Number 3, you want a real estate agent. Now, some people, they don't really like working with real estate agents. Well, that's probably because they haven't found the good real estate agents, especially the ones who are investor friendly. I'm blessed because my wife is a 22 plus year veteran real estate agent. She's investor friendly, and she really makes my job easy as an investor, because the moment I have a potential deal on my desk, I push her the address for her to comp the property. So it saves me a little time, even though I'm doing my comping on my end, but I want to make sure I'm close to what my agent who will list the property for me, if I'm fixing it and flipping it, I just want to make sure that I'm on top. So when you have a real estate agent who knows how to comp, who knows how to put deals together, it just makes things a lot easier in my estimation. Number 4, a transaction coordinator. Again, I'm blessed because my wife, who is a real estate agent, she is also our transaction coordinator. So she coordinates all of our transactions as a company that buys real estate, and she coordinates the transactions for the properties that we sell and or rent. So she helps us as a transaction coordinator on the acquisitions and on the dispositions. Of course, she's getting paid commissions to do this, but she also gets a fee as a transaction coordinator. So you might not have the same person to do it, but definitely having a transaction coordinator makes a lot of the paperwork and the things that you have to get done easier when you don't have to do it. Number 5, an insurance agent who is familiar with creative real estate, okay? So when you're doing deals like subject to owner finance, especially with subject to, you have to structure that insurance correctly. And you need an insurance agent who knows how to set that insurance up properly so that you don't trigger any red flags with the mortgage company when you're doing subject to. Number 6, a general contractor, and I should have put PM as a project manager. I have a general contractor that I work with. He serves also as a project manager just to make my job a little easier so that once I hand the property to him, he's going to work with subcontractors to make sure everything is done. My wife also operates as a coordinator working with the general contractor just to free me up so that I can focus on the next deal. But having a general contractor is very, very important because a lot of times when I'm looking at a property and even before I close or once we get into contract or when we're close to getting into contract, I like to do my due diligence, and it's easy to have my general contractor go out, give me an idea of what it's going to cost to get things done. He's familiar with all types of things regarding homes, whether it's HVAC, roof, foundation issues. These are the things that helps me to start pinpointing where my costs are going to be in the event that I buy this property. Number 7, a home inspector. I don't always use a home inspector. That's not my recommendation for you, especially if you don't have a GC or someone who's familiar with properties. I know my way around houses. I'm not a GC. My dad was a master carpenter, so I learned carpentry at a young age. I'm not as polished as I was, early on in my life, but I still know my way around a house, okay? And so I can, from an eye view, look at things and test things and, do my little physical due diligence and from an amateur's perspective. I'm not a professional inspector, but I know enough to know what I'm looking at. But again, if you don't have that eye or that skill set, use a home inspector because it can cost you tens of thousands of dollars when you could have just paid a home inspector $400 or $500 before you bought the property. And last but not least, I added as an 8th person, a mortgage loan originator or a lender. We have a lender on our team because my wife, again, is an agent. So we work with a lot of people who we prepare to purchase properties. And so having a lender on my team has always been good. But as an investor, I want to have a mortgage loan originator on my team just in case if I'm buying a distressed property, I'm using strategies like subject to. What if the due on sale clause is called and I don't want to unwind the paperwork to convert it into a lease option? What if I want to refinance out down the road? I want to know what my seasoning period is, what type of loan programs are available, DSCR type loans for investors. How am I going to know this? Well, I'm going to have to talk to someone who knows it. What if I want to do a lease option on this property that I bought and I want to get the person who is the tenant buyer prepared so that they can purchase it in 3 to 5 years? I have somebody on my team to help me and to help them in that process. So these are just 8 of the most important people I believe you should have on your team. Again, if you plan on buying distressed properties, if that's going to be a niche that you're going to build a business around as a real estate investor, especially if you're using creative strategies like Subject to and owner financing, especially Subject to. That's one of my most like relevant strategies. It's a strategy that I always use. I love to use, especially with pre-foreclosures, and I know that you need to have these people in your corner, working with you, building a relationship, helping you along the way so that you can get to where you want to go and see success at the end of the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And if you are looking for any mentorship, any coaching, any courses, or if you just want to be a part of a community, we have regular meetups here in Atlanta in person in our Buckhead headquarters. We have weekly coaching calls every Monday night, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time, live. So we're doing our due diligence to really educate people, coach and mentor people to help them become successful in their real estate journey. So you can just click the link in the description, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video.